So then guys, last week we popped out a video with our narrow gauge heritage line, and we were using the block signalling's SSA2. Yes, the SSA2. Nope, sorry, the SS2A. And we had loads of interest from it. So in this video, we're going a bit more in depth and answer some of your questions from the previous video of what we can do with this little chipboard. Now, since we brought the device, which was several months ago because I had a different plan for it, but we're now using it for here, block signalling has actually changed it slightly, and there's less wires on it and a couple of diodes instead. But when you do buy the item, it comes with clear instructions. I was able to set it up, and I find electronics difficult, so it's not too hard. Anyway, let's get on with this video. Okay, so the first part of the chip is pretty much, we're all wired up again, as previously shown. We're using a 12-volt power pack. That's going directly into here. If we don't have the correct socket or pack thing, the two wires can go directly into this little bit here. Now, this is the bit that is really interesting, because this one here is the speed of the train. So that's your accelerator. This is why you don't need a separate controller, because this is your controller. You can decide how fast or how slow you want your train to go. But saying that, it also has to go the speed that will relate up to the time. Now, I have found here, I initially thought that the time that you set was how long the train spent at each end of the line. Actually, I've learnt to find out that is how long the train takes to stop at each end and travel down the line. So if you wanted it to stop, if you wanted it to change direction, every 5 seconds, that train has to get from A to B and stop, and then back from B to, and then start off again from B to head back to A in 5 seconds. So if you've got a long bill of track, that won't work. Let me try and explain this by looking at the video. I'm going to turn this all the way round to the quickest part. Let's unplug it first. Right. Okay, hopefully we can see this all now. The LEDs on the pad's just about to change direction. Right, it's going to change direction now, and the train will head off. Now the idea is to get across that line over there, but the timing hasn't allowed it to. It's only got halfway down the track, and the LED's now flashing to go the other direction. So the train hasn't actually made it down the track. So my initial thought, it hasn't even made it again over that end of the breaker. So my initial thought of in the time delay was how long it would take at each end of the track. I was wrong. It seems to be how many seconds it will take to go from A all the way down the track to B, and then get ready to turn round again and then come all the way back. Now that's what it seems to me. So we've had to change the time speed to what was adequate for our line. Now our line, again, like we said, down here, goes from just down in this land here, and it goes all the way up the other end of the board here. It goes a good 18 foot. So we have had to adjust the time to what suited us, and that was by using this one here. So again, let's take the train off the track, pop this back down here, unplug, because I'm just about to stick a screwdriver on it and I don't want to get electrocuted. Right, now the train speed, again, if you went all the way this way, the train's not moving, it's an accelerator. It's exactly the same as your controller, so you have to bring it up a bit so we can get some power in the train. Now I'm going to twist this around. There's no exact science to how long. All the way around the other way takes about 10 minutes. All the way down to here takes about 1 second, apparently. But I've twisted it to about 20 degrees. I could be completely wrong there. I'll put the train back on the track. Okay, here we go then. So it's going to go to the left. So it makes its way all the way down the track, goes over the breaker. And it'll wait there a little while. Then make its way back. Wait again. And all in all, I think I've set this up to be about a 1 minute cycle. So we'll go off again. He'll wait up this end. Now make its way back. And it'll stop this end now for another about 20 seconds. And then it will head out again. Round about now it will change direction. Here she goes. So the next question we had was, can we have 2 trains, one in the siding waiting and a one running down the track? That question was given to me by my dad, because obviously he was wondering if we could have 2 trains on this track. So first off, I use an electrofrog point. Net, don't use an electrofrog point on this. They're just going to completely short the whole system. Okay, so electrofrogs are no. So I got an insul frog. Now that works okay. So I have sent up a parallel piece. So I've got my insul frog piece here, attach it to the track. Say that, best if I had some fish plates on it. Now attach onto the track. So this scenario, I've wired up box number 4 to 2 bits of track in parallel, so it goes from this one and onto this one. And they will go onto each side of the insul frog turnout. So got 2 trains, pop one on here, track 1, second train. Now we're going to use a little 009 for this one. Okay, now let me move the camera and show you. Now both of the trains are past the breaker. Okay, what we want in this scenario is to store one train, run another train. Okay, and then we could flick over once one train goes back to have the second one go. So that is the first experiment we're trying. So let me plug us back in and set the camera up. Okay, we've got the 2 trains on. We're using the small 009 and one of the N-gauge ones. And initially, I'm going to want this one to go first. So plug it in, wait a moment. Okay. It runs, it's gone to the other end. Wait for the time a bit. Now it makes its way back. Stops. Now this one hasn't moved. So far, it's doing what we're hoping. So let it go down the line one more time. So it's making its way down. It stopped at the end, what we want it to do. And now we want it to come back. Give it a moment because it is all on a timer. So now it's made its way over, we want to switch the points so we can get this train out. So that'll be the second train. Okay, they both started off there, but this one stopped as soon as it went past the breaker. So that's not an issue as long as your breaker isn't directly on the point, because that would be an issue. Because initially, it's telling both lines to go forwards. But once it comes off of the track that's got the breaker in it, it stops. So this one will keep going. That one's come off of the track because it's this deceleration isn't an instant stop. But anyway, so once again that's come past the breaker, but it's not going to go anywhere else now because the track's all telling this side to work, as you can see. Let it come back and I'll flip the switch one more time and see what happens. Okay, so now that one's come back, flip the switch, that one's reversed a little bit, back in place again. Now it's just changing direction to head back that way again. Now only this line moves. So yes, it can work. Okay, you just have to be careful. Now I'll show you what it's doing close up here. But you can set it up to have a train waiting and another one going up and down. Just flick the point as long as it's an Insel frog point, and then the second train can come up and down. So I think we will change one of the ends. I'm not sure which end yet. So we can have two trains on this, on the 009 gauge. Okay, so flip the point again. Now it's back here, and you'll just see what happens. See, they both go, but the little red one stops just past the breaker down there. Right, so as I said, as long as you make this bit of track long enough, it's not going to affect anything else apart from a sudden start up and then stop. So another very good question we had was now if you're shuttling up and down as we're planning to do, is there a way that after you've shuttled for a while you could then take the train back onto a main line somewhere else and let it do whatever? So done another experiment, set it up in a way that the answer is yes. So let's show you how. So as you can see here, the same as always, the shuttle end through to the middle piece to the other breaker. So the train is going to go from here down the line to here, stop, back down the line, stop, and so on. Okay? Then what you're going to do is, once you've done that, you're going to wait till it comes back this way. You're then going to turn the power off to the chipboard, and then the power onto the controller, and then the train will go from here up the line a bit more, past this point, onto this bit of track, and then down here and off. So let's demonstrate that. So the first part, the train goes onto the line, the shuttle, plug it in and let it do its thing. Stops on the breaker, changes direction in just a moment, makes its way down the other end. Okay, but what we want it to do for this question to be answered is, when it gets back up this end, once it's crossed the breakers, you stop, you take the power out of the chip, you put the power line into the controller, and then you now have full control of the train with your controller, so you can take it up to the end. Got a bit of dirty track. Over your points, change your points, and head it down onto your main line. So for the purpose of what we're going to be using, we can put a siding in and have two trains sat here on the heritage line, and one can go backwards and forwards, and then you change the train by flicking the point. That's going to work fine for us. Block signalling do other chips for train shuttles with train stops in the middle, so the train can go off, stop in the middle for a train station, then go to the end again, turn around, well, reverse back up, stop in the middle. So keep an eye out or have a look at what the other ones have got and decide for yourselves which ones will suit your needs. Do hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have done, please remember to hit that subscribe button and the little bell to be notified for any upcoming videos. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.